Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Kirby 64 The Crystal Shards. In the last part we finished up the second level, Rock Star, and in this episode we go on to the third level, Aqua Star. Looks like our first area here on this level is a very beachy, tropical place, very pleasant compared to the desert that we just finished going through. So let's go ahead and head out. Ah, yes, just as I expected, a very pleasant-looking beach area for us to vacation in. Looks like we've got a lot of powers to choose from here. These fish don't give us anything, but these little volcano characters here actually give us the rock power. You might think they should give you fire, but they do give you rock instead. There are these pitfalls here with the... Oh my. Yeah. I was thinking about combining the powers there, but that's fire enemy had a different idea. Looks like we've got a chance to get a rock cutter power here, but I'm not going to get that. Instead, I'm going to ignore them and head this way. Looks like we have a lot of ocean to behind us in the background, but not a lot of crystals in sight yet. This is about where the game starts to get much longer in level design, where the levels aren't just 2 or 3 rooms long, and there actually are much more involved crystal hunts than before. These green orbs here actually swallow Kirby for a second and then spit him out. Sort of like a cannon in a Donkey Kong game. Those bonefish can't hurt us while we're flying using Kirby's green orb powers, and then down here is actually a crystal for us to collect. And as I said, this is where the level design begins to get a little bit more tricky. They started to take the kid gloves off a little bit and made the crystals harder to find, made the levels a little bit longer, the enemies a little bit more vicious and willing to assault you if they can get the chance. So it's where you have to have practiced using a lot of Kirby's different combinations and attacks up to this point. We can go ahead and discard our rock power-up and instead gain the cold power-up from our little friend Penguin here. Freeze these enemies and send them flying. We've used the cold power-up before, you may recall. It's not, and as I said before, it isn't that useful, but it is somewhat useful if you have a lot of enemies on screen at once and you want to use as few attacks as possible to get rid of them. And over here we actually have a bomb enemy. Now if we combine freeze with bombs, we create a very interesting power called the Suicide Snowman. A snowman Kirby puts a bomb on his head and covers himself in snow, and then explodes, destroying some enemies with a bomb explosion and freezing others who are only caught in the snow. As I said, a very interesting power, very, I wouldn't say unique, but it's definitely very interesting and not at all what you might be used to seeing out of a Kirby enemy, or out of a Kirby power. And fortunately, you can jump while you're using it as well, so it's actually very easy to just cross large sections of level in case an enemy pops out of nowhere to attack you while using this power. Though if you are attacked, it will cause you to detonate. Though, as I said, the explosion will kill enemies, and the snow debris that flies will also freeze them, meaning that you basically have 2 blast radius instead of just 1. And those little spear-throwing enemies there are annoying, but not necessarily a very large threat. And, oh, ouch! These enemies here can be somewhat tricky to kill, especially in this mini-boss area, because there's not a whole lot of room to maneuver. So what you want to do is stay as close to the boss as you can, and just use your Suicide Snowman power to destroy them. Ouch! I seem to be taking a lot of damage. Oh no, Kirby! That, friends, is our first death. And unfortunately, it looks as if we've already died. Since we've already died, we lost our power. We needed that power. I'll show you later, but we needed that power for something. We can't just lose it. And these enemies are so devious. They hide their sinister... They hide their sinister points behind a smiling face when we're not attacking them on the same plane. You see? We collect the crystal shard they were guarding and get out of there. Hello, Adeline. What do you have painted for us? Ah, she knows we're low on health, so she gives us a Maxim tomato. Thank you very much, Adeline. But yet, as I said, we did need that Suicide Snowman power-up for something. So, Interesting. We have a dilemma here. Let me see. I want to try something out. Let's see if we can go back through. No. It's blocked us out in the first part of the level. We'll have to come back to this level in a later episode and get the what it is we're going to have to miss at this point. I'll show you when we get there. So we have an electric power up here. We'll go ahead and sort of climb down. There's more of these spiked enemies here. These horrible creatures. And yes, here you can see where that the blue for the ice and then the black for the bomb would have created. They would have gotten rid of this platform for us, which would have meant we would be able to use that green ball to fling up into this tower here and collect another crystal shard. Unfortunately, since we do not have that power up any longer, we're going to have to come back to this level later and do it then. For now, let's go ahead and head off to the right here and finish this level off. I could get electric and cutter here, but these enemies are actually rather hard to get when they're jumping in and out of these holes like this. So instead, I'm just going to focus on getting through to the end of the level without dying again. Perhaps dying against that mini-boss was a bit of an embarrassment. After all, that mini-boss isn't that difficult. All you have to do is stand on the platform underneath him and then jump and use your snowman power and you can destroy him quite easily. Let's go for this one up here to replace the one we lost. There we are, back to 2 1-ups. We'll go ahead and head on to the second level here on Aqua Star. Looks like a jungle-ish area to me. Yes, it looks like a riverbed in a forest, but the river's rather low. It's left a lot of the fish stranded out here. Looks like we have more electric power-ups here, but as well as some meat to collect. Bronto birds have gotten quite aggressive against us and are attacking us. Ouch. Take that, Bonnie. There. Yes, there are quite a lot of enemies here, including Gordos. Gordos are the bane of many a Kirby player, because they are completely invincible. They're one of the only enemies in the entire game that Kirby cannot destroy. Use our rock power-up to just bowl our way through here. Gordos swarming all over the place now. As I said, the difficulty here has been ramped up to, I wouldn't say very difficult, but certainly somewhat difficult now. Kirby games never get truly very hard, but oh my, looks like we've got falling platforms to deal with here. Run for it, Kirby! Don't stop for anything! And we made it. Looks like we have a chili power-up here, but we're not going to be collecting that. Instead, we're going to stick with our rock power-up and use it to grab this fire power-up here as well. Because rock and fire is a combination we haven't seen yet. It creates Volcano Kirby, who spews lava rocks from his head in a direction that you can actually control with the control pad. Unfortunately, you are completely immobile when you do this. Anyway, right now, here we have a giant enemy crab that we must destroy. The easiest way to destroy this boss is by using a power such as Volcano Kirby, sitting up on the side of the platform here, and just shooting him as he comes close. There. Quite easy. But to get his crystal shard that he was guarding, you must have Volcano Kirby to be able to open up this area and climb inside. We can ignore these other crabs for now, as well as that sandwich up on top, despite it must be a delicious sandwich. But we have other things to do. Looks like we have a fast-flowing river here. And our friend Waddle Dee wants us to ride with him in a box, a sort of raft that he's created, that'll enable us to get down the river much faster. And we are almost completely invincible while riding in the box as well, because the enemies can't hurt us. The only thing that can would be running into one of these boxes or rocks or obstacles lying in wait for us. Oh, a crystal shard! Well grabbed, Kirby. We want to collect some stars as well. We might need some more lives with as difficult as these levels have gotten all of a sudden. Jump for it, Kirby. Yes, we don't. There aren't a lot of nuances to this, but as long as you time your jumps well. Uh-oh. Looks like we're coming up to much steeper waterfalls, and oh no! Kirby lands safely at the bottom of the waterfall, but Waddle Dee is nowhere to be found. I hope he's alright. Volcano Kirby isn't very much used to us now. We might as well discard the power and grab the invincible candy, which makes us not only invincible to all of these enemies around us, but also to everything else in this game. Kirby cannot be wounded, cannot be hurt, he cannot be destroyed, he cannot even be stopped. You can only hope to slow him down. Ah, Kirby's invincible candy, perhaps one of the most powerful things in this game. But it only lasts for a short time, and you can only find it in very certain areas of this game. So let's go ahead and use this crab to attack for us, shall we? All we have to do is hold him up above our heads, and his claws will make short work of most enemies that come against us. Looks like we've got to continue scaling this river, though. Oh my, looks like someone set up some traps for us here. There are many logs for us to avoid. Jump for it, Kirby. There you are. You have to stay out of the water as much as possible, just so no rolling logs come down to crush us. Bronto Burt doesn't want to share his platform, so we're going to keep on heading upward. Ouch. Looks like we have a fire power up here that might help us climb this water area a bit. I suppose you'd call it a series of waterfalls. I'm not exactly sure what the technical term is for it, but there. Perhaps I could show you the double fire power-up. That sounds like a good idea. This seems like a good chance as any to show it. There we are. There's another fire enemy that we can use. There we go. And the double fire power-up. It's almost the same attack as the other attack, only the range is much increased, and oh my, those rolling logs certainly hurt. Kirby takes several points of damage from them if you're not careful. Oh, jump for it, Kirby. There you are. Very skilled. But we can use the flame power-up to simply fly over the logs in this part of the level, and then just run to the end, where the picnic awaits us. Now, what do we need? We have 3 lives, which I think should be enough. So let's go for the Maxim Tomato here, and hopefully fill up on life again. Oh, the 1-up is good too. Either one would have been fine. Well, it seems we've already recorded for about 12 minutes here, so I'm actually going to let off this episode here with going back to the first level and collecting that crystal shard that we missed. Let's use our double fire power-up to cruise through this first part of the level and get to where we need to be to collect our Suicide Snowman power once again. These little pits of water do have a bottom, which means that if you fall in them, you are not going to instantly be destroyed, as you might think, but they are almost always home to an enemy, whether that's a fish or one of these jungle cutting men. So it's a good idea to try to stay out of them as much as you can, and it looks like we've taken quite a lot of damage here. Hopefully we'll be able to live through this. Taken 3 cells worth of damage, I suppose you could call them. We still have half of our health left, though, so as long as we manage to stay out of trouble, we should be alright. The thing about the double flame power-up is that it does make you completely uncontrollable while you're using it. So it's not that useful of a power, in my opinion. It is very impressive, but there are much better powers. Ouch. Bonefish. I'm just trying to get through your level a second time. Why don't you get out of my way? Bronto birds. And enemies, out of my way. So we have an ice enemy here, which we can freeze all of these creatures, get them out of our way. And then we have, remember, a bomb enemy at the very end of this cavern. We want to collect this health on our way there, obviously, since we're very low. We're only down to 2 health cells, but we want to avoid these frogs that pop out here in the walls. I believe we saw these first in Rockstar, but they make a return here. They aren't too much of a threat so long as you stay out of their way. So let's go ahead and finish this mini-boss off the way that it's supposed to be done. There, we've got ourselves another life. Unfortunately, you can't automatically detonate Kirby's Suicide Snowman technique because he set an automatic fuse, which means that the only way to destroy it are to run into an enemy or to wait for the time to run out on it. It is a rather useful power, though. It can be quite helpful, especially against mini-bosses. There we are. You see, the blast radius is actually very large from what you might think, though it does explode mostly upward rather than outward. And it also forms a useful shield to keep yourself safe from attack if you are quick enough with the button. So let's go and finish this mini-boss the way that it's supposed to be done. Let me show you. You stand on this platform here in the middle, and simply jump it into the mini-boss while using your power-up. There. See? Very simple. And then we fall down in the hole and collect where the crystal shard used to be, collect some extra stars for us. Hello, Adeline. What have you had for us? Ah, yes, a Maximum Tomato again. Thank you very much, Adeline. You're a treasure. Our Suicide Snowman technique freezes the Bronto birds in place and allows us to destroy the fish before it even has a chance to kill us. So we can go ahead and head down here once again, past these spiked enemies with all of their nastiness, and destroy this piece of platform right here. We have to wait for our fuse to run out, as I said, instead of automatically detonating. There we are, and we fling ourselves upward through the pillar and to the top with another crystal. So we'll go ahead and exit the course, and I will see you all next time on Let's Play Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards. Good night, everyone.